Hey everybody, welcome back to Let's Play The Binding of Isaac Rebirth. I'm Nye.
And I'm slightly moist.
I swore you've used that one before.
I have. It's an old favorite.
So we're going to be doing something slightly different. So Trance, up until this point, and I think you can probably vouch for me on this because of the questions I have asked and the answers I've given to people, I have made the biggest effort to not watch anybody who streams Isaac or plays Isaac.
It's true.
I have avoided getting answers to how things work and how to unlock things. Occasionally I'll ask a direct question if it's something I have a theory on. You guys have heard that before. I've also avoided getting any real information. We're done with that. There's a reason. So a couple of episodes back, we got a puzzle piece using Eden. So,
I know what Nye's gonna do now.
Now you know what we're doing. So we got a puzzle piece with Eden, and those puzzle pieces do a specific thing. Get enough puzzle pieces, and it will show you the last will and testament of a character, which shows you one character dying in an incredibly specific way.
Now, of note, it takes dozens upon dozens of pieces to get this done, and getting a piece is incredibly difficult.
As has been shown by the fact that it took me 100-some-odd episodes to actually do it once. Thing is, this was meant to be a community effort, and it was meant to be done by many people over many runs, and eventually get the answers. So I feel kind of okay with getting the answers myself, and so now I've officially looked up what those puzzle pieces mean and how they work. We need to fail a run in 4 very specific ways, with 4 very specific characters, in order, without turning the game off, or losing or winning a run in any other way between the two. Between them. This is a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
And the reason why I say that this is a pain in the ass is this recording will not be the first time I've tried this. I actually tried this previously and had problems.
Of note, the hardest part is the first one.
Yep. So, to let you guys know, I spent 2 hours doing this just the other night, and the only reason you guys aren't seeing those episodes is because there was no point. They wouldn't mean anything. It would just be 2 hours of watching me flail around, try to get stuff done, and very interesting commentary. As opposed to your usual 2 hours of flailing around, not doing stuff, and no interesting commentary. So, what we have to do...
So you've basically missed nothing.
Yeah, pretty much. So what we have to do is we have to do this in 4 different ways, 4 different characters die to very specific things. What we have to do is we have to start out as Isaac, the guy I'm playing right now, and we have to die on either the first or second floor to a Mullaboom. Now, a Mullaboom is those infested hive-looking things that have bombs in their heads that come and run at you and try to kill you. I need them to kill me. There's a problem with that.
They only do 1 damage, and they're rare.
Yeah, they don't spawn worth a damn. I spent an hour searching for them the other night, and only found 1.
Can they even spawn at all on the cellar?
Yeah, this is where they have to spawn. This is where you have to do this. They spawn in the cellar, and they spawn in the basement, and apparently they spawn in caves as well, but the problem is we need to see them on the first or second floor.
Yeah, that's right.
So what I've been doing is I've just been resetting runs until I see them, because there's kind of no point beating the boss. I mean, there's literally no point beating the boss. They can't... We would be going down to another floor, but we would be spending an incredible amount of time actually doing it. The problem with the cellar is that it's more inclined to spawn spider-type enemies than it is to spawn fly-type enemies. And the Mullaboom, apart from one variation, is a fly-type enemy.
And I don't think that variation is even allowed to be used for this.
Nope, it has to be a Mullaboom, specifically. Yeah. Mullaboom is a variation of the Mulligan, which, this would normally be a really happy run for me. The Mullaboom is a variation of the Mulligan, and the spider-type one is a different variation of the Mulligan. We need the Mullaboom.
Yeah.
So here's the other problem with this whole sequence of events. So this is the Mulligan, that thing right there. We need the one with the bomb in its head. So here's the thing about this. If you turn off the game, or die in a non-prescribed way, you fail at unlocking this new character. What you can do, and Trance, I'm gonna put the dead man switch on this one in your hands, and you can tell me if I'm allowed to do this.
You can use seeded runs.
What you are allowed to do is for the first 3 runs, you're allowed to use seeded runs to make it happen. Now, run 2 and 3, I don't think we're going to have much of a problem with. I, unfortunately, had very bad luck on 1-3 the other night, which is why that recording got scrapped. But, run 1 is the problem, just finding the Mullaboom. Run 2, you die on floor 3. Run 3, you die on floor 6. And the final run, you die in Shoal. It's just a matter of getting to them more than it is anything.
And living.
Yeah, well, that's kind of peculiar.
Now, of note, there are some that it's impossible to just get screwed out of completely without your control.
No, you can get screwed out completely no matter what.
I know the one, I think it's the third one that Mom has to kill you?
Yes, but, okay, so, without beating around the bush, guys. Run 1, as Isaac, die to Mullaboom. Run 2, as Maggie, die to your own bomb in caves or catacombs. Run 3, as Judas, die to Mom, specifically Mom.
I think it has to be her foot stomp.
Nope, it can be the hand or the eye shot. The problem is that it can't be one of the mobs she spawns.
So pretty much just sit in front of one of the hand swattery places.
Much. The problem is, if something else swats you, like say, if for instance she gets one of her creatures to kill you, you have to reset the entire series. Do all 3 again. Run 4, as Azazel, die to Satan. Now, the important part about this is don't die to the Fallen. If you die to the Fallen, you fail. The Fallen is the first form of Satan. So it is very specific about that. You also, the rumor is, and I don't know how true this is, I've seen back and forth in this one, the rumor states that you're allowed to die to Form 2 of Satan, the big one that flies around. However, what a lot of people are saying is it has to be Satan's foot stomp. I'm not sure which one's correct, so we're going to go for the foot stomp. But we have to actually get there first.
That's what I was thinking when I was thinking of the foot stomp. It's Satan's foot.
Yeah.
Which is a phrase you don't get to say often. That's Satan's foot!
Yep. Let's go see if we can find a Mullaboom. As I said, just this portion. This is not a Mullaboom. That is something else. I know it drops a bomb, but that is a different enemy. So the problem is that just this portion of this took me probably an hour. Just trying to make this happen. So it's just a matter of finding this, which is obnoxious. And mostly I just keep on hitting reset anytime I reach the end of the floor, because there's kind of no point not doing so. And there's also, in many cases, there's no point not taking damage, because chances are it'll get you to your conclusion faster. The other problem I had with this, the other problem that I had with this was that there's no, there's no feedback from the game when you have successfully completed one of its tasks. The game doesn't tell you, congratulations, you did it. It just things.
I can't remember, how is it that it was revealed what order it had to be done in?
Someone data mined.
Well, no, but I meant, what was the hint?
Oh, that there was an order?
Yeah, isn't it like there's a little diamond on each, and it's more and more filled in?
I haven't seen the actual pictures. But from what I understand, the real reason people learned there was an order is that someone went and data mined this information.
Yeah, that's how they learned it was even a puzzle that existed.
Oh, no.
Well.
People learned there was a puzzle because people knew there was a puzzle because people looked at the information for Sony's for the PlayStation version's trophies and learned there was another character. And then I guess people were already getting puzzle pieces and begin to put together there was a thing. And then someone went and got the hexadecimal information about this and got the rest information from there. No, it was only, probably a day or two faster than the community would have figured this out anyways, but
it's still kind of pissed off.
And Florian were pissed, yeah.
Especially since there's a note in the game's files that specifically says, hey, look, These are encrypted for a reason, you know, and we get that you're probably going to decrypt it and poke around, but please don't spoil anything. And even worse, apparently this character in particular has a line reminding to just please not spoil anything.
Yeah. I mean, the community was already working on it, but...
Yeah.
It's dicks, is what it is.
If really anything, that makes it worse.
Yeah. So, regardless, I know what the character is. This one I kind of figured out a little bit earlier. I learned the name of it earlier than I actually intended to, just by hearing people talk. And I learned the key trick about this character early. So I know what I'm in for. But we're doing it anyways.
Yeah. It's gonna be fun.
Just finding this damn Mullaboom.
Yeah.
Which is, I swear, like a needle in a haystack. What was really obnoxious is, so it took me, as I said, about an hour to find it the first time, and immediately after I found it, the next run I found another one.
Ah.
Yep. And there's Pride. I think the other problem is that these floors are so damn small that you don't really have time to find a lot of different enemy spawns. You know, there's only so many rooms. You're, gonna get 6 rooms total on floor 1, if that? So you don't really have a lot of time to find these enemies. It's obnoxious.
It is suggested to do the first 2 floors because the second floor is bigger, but...
Yeah.
It's a bit of a crapshoot. Also, the second floor is more likely to spawn the bullshit Mullaboom rooms.
Actually, let's go ahead and go on hard mode for that reason. Because I think Mullabooms are considered to be a champion. Well, there's some mulligan types. Not the right type, but close. There we go. It's 1 damage. There we go. Damn. Oh, well, there's some mulligans. Yeah, I think Mullabooms are considered to be a champion type. So I think they're more likely to spawn on hard mode. Problem is, I can't remember what difficulty I actually did this on in the first place. I will tell you, the whole get yourself killed thing is a very weird feeling as an Isaac player, because you spend so much time making decisions that, I'm not I don't want to die, so I'm making this decision. And then, when you do this series of challenges, get to this point and die in this way, it becomes less, I don't want to, make these decisions to survive, than it is make these decisions to survive until. It's a very weird feeling. Okay, well. Yeah, I have no problem going to floor 2. I think the problem with that is going to be that, we're going to floor 2, but I'm not going to have any health, because I have to purposefully lower my health, so that way the Mullaboom can kill me, because it only deals 1 damage. Well, that happened. Come on, Mullaboom, where are you? This is frustrating as hell. They haven't picked that up yet. Eve's Mascara. Shot speed down. Whoa, that's really down. Damn. These are not Mullabooms. This is the thing that spawn. This is a type of Mullaboom. This is the spider type. This is most certainly not a Mullaboom. Okay, that sheds shot speed down, right?
Not sure.
That feels like fire rate down too. Oh, nope, don't. Stop being a spider. I'm not here to die to you. Oh, this is good. Also not a Mullaboom. And I died to that. That's fine. Eve's Mascara wasn't helping. Curse of the Maze. Wonderful. That is meat. That is not a Mullaboom. Sure, why not? Did that actually do anything? No. Okay. I was kind of curious. So, Trance, we got Libra again.
Now's as good a try as any to try to get to the second floor.
I guess. Oh, I forgot that Libra did that. Libra's a really good start.
Yeah, it's one of the most powerful items in the game.
I don't know
Maybe
if I go that
even
far.
I would. I honestly would.
I mean, it enables powerful items. It, in and of itself, isn't a powerful item. You know what I mean? Libra doesn't do anything by itself. But, if you have another good item, Libra can do cool stuff.
Well, it balances you out, and it gives you a shitload of consumables.
Yeah. So,
I
mean,
think that's why it's one of the best early pickups.
Yeah, well, early pickups, yeah, but that's not what you said. You said it was the most powerful items in the game. That's just not true.
Well, it's powerful if acquired early.
Yeah, so early game pickup. It does cool stuff if you pick it up early.
It's also powerful if acquired late in certain situations.
Yeah, but then it's not Libra that's really doing the cool stuff. It's Libra plus something. You know, it's a combo, not a single item that does well on its own.
That's true.
Okay, come on. So we'll go down. We'll go down to the next floor. Go ahead and do that. Okay. This is just... This is obnoxious. Entirely so. Sure. So the thing about Libra is that it balances out your stats. So if you get a strength upgrade, so say the pentagram, it doesn't give you a full strength upgrade now that you have Libra. It spreads the love from the strength upgrade to your other stats too to balance everything out. I forget what level of strength upgrade the mark is. I think it's a +2 or something like that.
Not sure.
So what I actually ended up getting was like a plus, like plus 0.66 to all my other stats. Or whatever it is. I forget how many stats it spreads over. Come on, give me my thing. Give me a Mullaboom. I do like the half black, half white thing, though. It is a really cool look to it. Really? No Mullaboom? Come on, be nice. Part of me just wants to run this run for the sake of it, just because, Libra. But... come on. Come on. Less spiders, more Mullaboom.
Spiders everywhere! Kill them with fire!
That's the plan.
Also kill
There
them
we
with
go.
more spiders. Oh, got the Mullaboom?
No. We got a Mullaboom, but for some reason only dealt half a heart of damage to me.
There's still more rooms.
No, that's it.
Oh.
Damn it. And there were 3 of them.
So now you know you have to be at half a heart.
Yeah, they're supposed to deal a full heart, though. They've dealt full hearts in the first in previous runs. Why did that
You
only
might
deal half
not
a
have
heart?
been close enough.
Trance let it hit me. Oh, that's what... okay, now I understand what happened. It dealt contact damage, not explosion damage.
Oh, and you do have to be hurt specifically by the explosion. I think? No, it just has to be a Mullaboom. So you're best off just sitting at half a heart. Oh, that blows.
That is really terrible. That shouldn't even be a thing,
Yeah, but it is what it is.
That is such
What
a
does that even mean?
Yeah, I was gonna say, that's a really worthless phrase.
Of course it is what it is.
I mean,
what else would it be?
look-
What it isn't?
Look, math teachers will really appreciate that phrase because there's an axiom that proves it, but still.
Is equals is.
I was gonna say A equals A, but sure. I don't understand why people need to be taught this, because I think even a 4-year-old can tell that it can tell you that an apple's an apple, and it's nothing but an apple because it's an apple. I'm just gonna skip that.
Unless it's made of wax.
But it's still an apple.
Not really.
Yeah, it is. It's an apple. It's a wax apple, but it's an apple.
Really, try eating it.
No, I didn't say it was an edible apple. I didn't use
Apples
that
are,
adjective.
by their very nature, edible.
I didn't say by definition it was an apple. I said it's an apple. Hey, look, it's proptosis. Let's pick that up for fun.
There's a painting you might be fond of.
This is not a cigar.
Pipe.
Or it's not a pipe, yeah. That's it. Not a Mulliboom. It looks like a Mulliboom. Okay. Yeah, I don't think I've ever actually had a run where I had proptosis this early. We're having a lot of fun starts, but we're not getting the thing we're looking for.
The game is clearly teasing you at this point.
Of course it is. It knows what I'm going for, and it's like, if you think this is pain, just wait until you actually get this character.
Also, I love the derpy face proptosis gives him. Just derp.
Have you seen I think it's the Iranian comedian who can actually do this?
Ow.
Yeah, this is an actual thing. I forget his name.
You may want to use that sack room to lower your health before exploring further.
Yeah.
It would have sucked if there was a Mulliboom right there.
True. This is why I try not to go into the sack rooms, because this just takes so damn long.
Right, but you need to hurt yourself somehow anyway, and it's right there. Let it hit you.
Oh, well, now I'm dying.
Now you're hosed.
Okay, I seem to have better luck on the basement.
Yeah, I think they're more likely on the basement because it's a fly-type foe.
Let's see if we can get into the basement here. The problem
I'd
is,
suggest
I think
wait till there's one left, then let it bump you a lot.
But I only want hugs.
Oh, love me. Oh, half a heart. Oh, you're sure. Whoop, 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 whoop.
Well, this is going to make this impossible. This was a bad choice.
Hold left control. Hold left control.
Oh, I forgot I can do that. That's right. Man, if I had known that a long time earlier, my life would have been so much better.
The only item it doesn't work, that's a bad idea.
No, it isn't.
It can protect from explosions.
Just gotta look the other way. Turn the other cheek. And everybody knows that cool guys look away from explosions.
Yeah, so then why are you equipping that item?
I'm making it clear where I stand on this matter.
Covered in fly tears.
God damn it.
Next!
Yep. Hey, there's a bedroom.
Curse of the Maze. Basement Part 2. Shrine
part
of
one.
the Silver Monkey.
Shrine of the Mother.
Ah, the mother. Hey, bring me to space. You're a bit too fat. I'll kill you all!
That's what you
And
get
then
for calling
some
your
dude
mom
made
fat. I mean,
La Mulana.
I'm really looking. Oh, whoops. I'm really looking forward to La Mulana too.
Apparently, both Deceased Crab and Madame Luna are listed in the credits of it.
Listen to the credits of La Mulana 1 too.
Yeah, which is pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it makes sense. They're responsible pretty much single-handedly for the game getting super popularized out here. And hell, that very thing is also responsible for the mass spread of the Let's Play. Just the Let's Play itself.
I would disagree with that.
Well,
I mean, I would
they're one of
disagree
the origins of it.
greatly with that.
I thought that was what really kick-started the Let's Play community, was DC doing that and it going just pretty much viral.
No, DC only did La Mulana, what, 6 years ago? As of this recording?
Let's find out.
Because Let's Plays were going as back as far... at least 2006.
2007.
Yeah. No, earlier than that.
The archive.
Maybe not video Let's Plays, but freaking...
December 2nd, 2007 was when it was on the archive. It began March 25th, 2007.
Yeah, I mean, stuff like Dwarf Fortress, I think Head Shoots was 2006.
Let's find out. Sort by...
And are you looking at the archive date, or are you looking at
the thread date?
Okay.
Head Shoots was started in 2009.
Which one am I thinking of then?
I'll check all of them. Oh, I think there's a new one up. Matul Remrit. Boat Murdered started at the very end of 2006.
Yeah, okay, so it's Boat Murdered was the first one.
Yeah. Boat Murdered to Syrup Leaf. Yeah.
No. Syrup Leaf was after Head Shoots.
Yeah, you're right. Boat Murdered to Head Shoots to Syrup Leaf.
And there was some other one that I saw, but I haven't read it yet.
Matul Remrit.
Which is...
very small, and it ran from 2013. I can speak good. 2010 to 2013.
Kind of curious. I mean, the glory that was Syrup Leaf, I don't know if that can be matched.
It's a shame they lost a lot of the fan art images.
Yeah.
Like, there's one in particular from... I'm pretty sure it's from Syrup Leaf. Let me double check. It might be from Head Shoots, but I'm pretty sure it's from
What was it of?
The dwarf who encased himself in magma.
Which one? You may have to be specific here.
The dwarf is screaming. The dwarf is laughing.
That's
the dwarf
Syrup
is
Leaf.
making a rude gesture. Okay.
That's Syrup Leaf.
All right. Yeah. I don't remember who was in charge during that one.
That's one of two people. Either that's the guy who turned himself into the statue.
Yeah, that's the one I'm thinking of.
Yeah, his name starts with a B, I think.
There's only 98 of them on the page.
I mean, if you could name the overseers, I'll tell you who it was.
Spoon Boy,
Nope.
64-bit robot,
Nope.
Jasmus Prime, Frederick,
Nope.
Silent Bobarachi,
Nope.
Aiba,
Nope.
Sirocco,
Nope.
Glob of Glob,
Nope.
Dyron.
Well, Glob of Glob was one of the ones that had a description like that, but there was another one after him.
Zyla, Orange
Nope.
Soda,
Nope.
Mortis Lupus, Tosani, Pozo, Postgame.
It was the guy who was immediately after Glob of Glob, I think. It was the guy who closed out the Silent Bobarachi story, Resident Evil storyline. I mean, he's in the final story in the post game, so he wrote the final chapter of it. So if you
It's the same guy who wrote the final chapter?
I believe so.
That actually makes my job easier.
Yeah, let's go with the last page.
Oh man! They recovered the image! They fucking recovered the image! It's not a 404 anymore! Dyren's last minute.
Okay.
I'm just gonna post it on the muck.
Good plan. Oh, it's D. Okay, not a B, it's a D. Okay.
Yeah. Oh. This is an obsidian statue of Dyren Edemtosid. All craftworship is of the highest quality. It is inlaid with strands of cold obsidian. It is studded with cold iron. It is encrusted with silver. Dyren Tacit is impossible to fucking pronounce is melting. Impossible to pronounce is screaming. Impossible to pronounce is laughing. Impossible to pronounce is making a rude gesture.
And if you read the story, you understand all of it.
It makes so much sense. And it is a crowning moment of awesome for the thread.
And if you actually, and the fact that they actually got that particular carving to spawn is amazing.
Yeah. And the picture is of a dwarf statue flipping the bird.
Yeah, I've seen that picture.
And throwing up the metal horns.
Yeah, I've seen that picture.
I know you have, but this is just for the viewers. You know, can you link that in the commentary?
No. If people want to see that, and I'm sure they do, they can go to the LP archive and they can read the impressive story of Syrup Leaf, the Dwarf Fortress Let's Play.
But don't read it first.
No, read Head Shoots first.
Head Shoots into Syrup Leaf. It makes a lot more sense for a Dwarf Fortress game, anyway.
I'm impressed with those threads as a what's the word I'm looking for? As a
the fact that they're a community effort and able to keep something vaguely resembling a cohesive storyline against all odds.
I was gonna say what's the word I'm looking for? Almost an anthropology assignment, to be honest with you. It's like a social experiment. That's it. Just the idea that this is Dwarf Fortress is a game that has no narrative whatsoever at all in any way, shape, or form. The game gives you very sparse information, including graphically. You get nothing from the game about what you're doing, apart from these very sparse little, this dwarf is upset. This dwarf has slept in his bed recently. This dwarf has slept under the rain. Or in combat, the dwarf hits the hamster with his crossbow. The dwarf breaks the hamster's leg with a crossbow.
Not
the hamster
leg.
bites.
It wouldn't just be leg.
Well, yeah, it would be more
breaks the hamster's left inner tibia with his crossbow.
It would be more specific than that. But the point is, while the game is specific, it gives you absolutely no imagery. It doesn't really describe it very well. It's just kind of there. And then you have this group who goes in and actually, after the fact, describes exactly what happened. So it's not, this dwarf is upset, this dwarf slept in his bed lately. It's, even though this dwarf has slept in his masterfully crafted bed, given to him by his neighbor for his 18th birthday, he's upset because recently he had to watch another dwarf get flogged by the hammerer. The game didn't say that, you said that! But it's really cool that you said that.
The game tracked it, though.
Yes, well, the game tracks it, but it's...
And actually, the game does say it if you know where to look. It's kind of amazing.
Well, okay, yes, the game will say that's because he saw someone get hit by the hammer, but the game doesn't say that this dwarf was doing his epic hunt to fight the incoming hamster incursion. He shot the hamster in the leg with his crossbow from 50 feet away, and as he approached, the hamster reared up on his back legs and roared a mighty roar, then charged him, knocking him to the ground.
And proceeded to beat him to death with the dwarf's own limb, which had been severed by a hamster bite.
Well, no, that it will tell you. That it will tell you, but it won't...
Yeah, but think how badass that is.
Yes, but it won't actually...
hit the dwarf, tearing off his arm. The dwarf picked up his arm, shouting, "You think I can be disarmed that easily, a great fluffy beastie? Well, why don't I give you a hand?"
Yeah, I mean, that's not even put in. And the stuff like, okay.
Don't forget the problems with raising berserkers. They will use anything as a weapon. Anything.
Well, let's just talk about what's her name?
Yeah, Holistic Detective.
Yeah, let's just talk about Holistic Detective for a minute.
The Lord of Berserkers.
So let's talk about... So, we have Ballistic Detective, who was just... You gotta understand, these names were names of players who just wanted to have their names put in the game for nothing more than to have their name in the game. So we have Holistic Detective, who was just a named dwarf to begin with, was nothing more than one of the 7 who started. Decides to be is assigned a job by the player, not by the by the player of the game, not by the original account name. assigned a job as a weapons dwarf. And so Holistic Detective, the dwarf, decides to gank a really powerful artifact for no reason other than I'm a dwarf and therefore I take it. And then proceeds to become the most badass fighter of all time.
Using only her backpack.
Yeah, not even a backpack, a fanny pack.
Yeah, she was using... No, it was a backpack.
Was it? I thought it was a fanny pack at the end of the day.
It was a backpack. It was a backpack. She... sometimes she would use her own offspring, though, and that's what actually caused...
No, that was someone else.
You sure?
Yeah.
I thought it was
that was in Syrup Leaf.
Ah, yeah, you're right, right. Which... Didn't that end up causing the tantrum spiral that led to the game being lost, too?
No. Honestly, if you go back and read the game being lost it's because one of the overseers was doing something stupid. He was trying to do some sort of super weapon thing that backfired, and so he was unable to actually make it work. Yeah. But what ended up happening is, so as Syrup Leaf goes down, which will always happen in Dwarf Fortress 10. The things always blow up eventually.
Yeah, it's not about winning. You don't win Dwarf Fortress. You just last a little longer each time. So it's like that game about African-American suppression from Family Guy. You don't win. You just do a little better every go.
Anyways.
A good Cleveland.
So when, at the end of the game, so... The player, in an effort to try to keep the game going, decided to turn every dwarf into a weapons dwarf, just in the hopes of making the game last longer. But
they all went nuts.
But in the narrative that he was crafting, the last surviving member of the original 7, who had gone nuts in the intervening years, was then possessed by a spirit of
Holistic Detective.
No. Nemo.
Nemo. Which is the one that ended with...
Holistic Detective is the evil one. Nemo's the good one. So, he's possessed by a spirit sent by, essentially, the Christ against Holistic Detective's Antichrist. And the spirit kind of gives him his own mind back, and in that time, he makes the rousing battle cry of, essentially, they can take our lives, but can never take our freedom, thus pulling all of the dwarves into the grand military for their final stand, which, of course, they lose very, very quickly. But that didn't happen.
Because the spawn of Holistic.
But that didn't happen in the game. In the game, there was no such battle cry. In the game, the game randomly generates its, its myths and heroes.
Do note, this is important. This is very important. The spawn of Holistic did exist as an in-game thing.
But it was created, but it was a mod by someone else.
Just for that Let's Play.
Yeah. So, but stuff like the whole, aren't the gods of, Dwarf Fortress, randomly created too?
No.
Oh, those names aren't, randomly assembled?
Maybe they are. I'm not sure now.
I thought the names were randomly assembled, because, things like mountain ranges are randomly named, civilizations are randomly named. So I thought the gods were randomly assigned, too.
They might be.
But it's just amazing that these are, what ended up happening is, as the Let's Play continued, just the players who, well, I can't say players, the accounts, the people, who had their names put in the game, even though they weren't actually playing the game, they started adding their own narratives to the game based on what their character would have seen at any given point in time. They weren't actually playing the damn game, but they were adding to the narrative, which was then kept by the players to kind of make things happen. And even though the player themselves cannot control the dwarves, they did their best to make things work the way they should. So very just...
I love the Let's Play community. Just throwing that out there.
Mm-hmm. That's been something I've been wanting to do something like that for a while, and I just haven't found the game I want to do it on.
To include player names is a thing?
Oh no, to do the whole narrative thing.
XCOM.
Too easy. Also boring.
I don't find XCOM boring.
I don't think I'd be able to put a good narrative to it, because the problem is, one, I don't know the game well enough. Is part of the problem. The one I was thinking about doing was actually Civilization.
I tried it. I did try to like Civ. It's just not for me. It's fun to watch others play, but
But I think you could probably put a really good narrative to it. Like, literally start in, 4000 BC with the narrative, Ugg says we live here, and then go from there.
It works really well as a screenshot Let's Play.
Yeah. Well, what I was considering doing at the end of the day was I was going to record an entire gameplay session, like an entire, start to finish, and then go back after the fact, edit it down to, like, keep notes on what I wanted to, the highlights I wanted, and then go back after the fact, find those sections, and then narrate over it with the information I wanted, drawing out the cutscenes for as long as I needed. Basically, the same way, the same way the endings are done in Fallout.
Fair enough.
So I was thinking about doing it, and I very well might, because I've had some really good really good, just stupid stuff happen in a series of Civilization games I've played with my friend Mitch. We've had some really stupid, funny stuff happen, and I would be... that's the type of stuff I'd want to tell. And the really reason I got this idea, especially of Civ, is because I was reading some guy who did, he did a not Let's Play, but he did a question on a Civ forum on how do you play as Venice on Deity.
You do it by being a right bastard.
Yes, that's basically what ended up happening. But, Deity, of course, being the hardest difficulty in the game where things go wrong, and Venice being the city that can't conquer and has to spread, if anything, by way of converting city-states. They can't annex cities, they can't build cities. The best they can do is puppet cities if you happen to get in a war, but the problem is you're always going to be behind in a war because you don't have enough cities to build, or to get enough research to actually have good technological power early game.
What I've typically seen done with Venice is you can just really bastard it up.
Yeah.
And Venice is really, really important to focus on spies.
And trade.
Yeah.
Especially trade. Well,
you get in buddy with one group, you infect another with spies. You infect all the groups with spies.
Well, no,
really.
what you do is it's not the spy game that's the big game. It's the trade game and the diplomacy game. The reason why it's not spies for diplomacy, what you do is you build a lot of money and then you pay people to wage the wars you want.
Yeah.
So if you want to see, you're doing war by attrition. You aren't gaining any land. You're making sure the people who don't pay you lose land. And the people who pay you, you make sure they're the ones gaining from all of these trades, so that way you gain afterwards. So you're always trying to take people to the cleaners. And then you start doing research agreements by paying people off, so that way your research advances faster. And because you have so much money, that's how you catch up on research. And then you just start buying stuff constantly. So money fuels everything for you. Well, the thing is, it's also, a storyline of a mad dictator as well. So you can really easily put a story into that.
From what I've seen, it makes some fantastic screenshot Let's Plays.
Yep. That's the one I ended up reading, was some guy who did just that. So he was trying to tell people where he was in the Let's Play as he was gaining, he was trying to gain advice. So what he was doing a screenshot Let's Play, essentially, to show people where he was and what he'd been doing to gain advice for the next section. And it was fairly short, it wasn't a particularly long one, but it was very interesting to kind of read where he got and how he got there.
I've been reading and following one where they modded in a big boss from Metal Gear as his own nation. It works kind of like Venice, in that you can't actually own other cities, only make puppet states. But it's weird. It's definitely got a heavy military focus.
Yeah, I don't know who I would use. We had some... So we're playing... Mitch and I are playing... an epic length game, not a marathon, but epic length, on a Continents Plus size map. With he doesn't have the latest expansion. We're playing with Gods and Kings, So I chose. I usually, whenever he and I play and start a new game, I typically choose a nation that I need an achievement for. So I decided to play as who am I playing as?
Frank.
Is it Babylon that gets 50% extra golden ages? It's Darius of it's Persia.
Know.
Persia. So I'm playing as Darius of Persia, and my goal is to get as many as at least 5 golden ages over the course of the game. He randomed into Dido of Carthage. So we started off the game, and pretty interesting game to begin with when we first started it off, because we were in the middle, each of us, of big continents and had no idea where anybody was. And we weren't on a team. We didn't set things up because we wanted to make sure that we, if you're on a team, for some reason the game has you share technology progress. So when we tried team game originally, we eclipsed everybody because no one could keep up with us because we had double technology advancement. Mm-hmm. So we're on a team, no idea where we were, and we just kind of went and worked and kind of gradually played. So it turns out so there was me in the middle of this continent. Immediately to my west, you had Germany. To Germany's south, along the coast, was England. And that was kind of all I knew. Well, about 3,000 years into the game, so we're at about 1,000 BC. I've not been doing well. I was at score-wise, I was about halfway up the rankings. I was doing okay.
You're also clearly immortal.
Well, yes, there's that too. So I was doing pretty okay, and I was about halfway up the rankings. Well, then I still have a scout going. I've been building my typical strategy. I'm not a good Civ player. My typical strategy is I go for population building strategies. And then build into wonders, and if I'm not building a wonder, generally I'm building happiness, and money comes in third place. Sorry, not population. I build production, then I build wonders, then I build happiness, then population growth, and then money I typically build last. But also money is something I tend to specialize in late game, so I build that really early in my late game items. So I'm doing pretty well in points, mostly because of where I am. In terms of wonders, I didn't really have anything especially good in terms of military or technology. My friend was about in the same place. Mitch was about middle, and we had each built some wonders, but we were advancing. Well, all of a sudden we learned that he was directly above me on the same continent. We had never explored directly up or down because there was kind of a desert plains-ish area there, so there was nothing good in that area. So we never explored there. So we're just right there.
No points, yeah.
There's no point. So I continue expanding. I find Greece to my northeast. I find Kamehameha and Polynesia to my southeast.
Now, when you said that, my immediate thought was, I didn't know that was a resource. What are you playing, a mod where the 80s are an option?
What, Kamehameha?
Greece.
Oh.
That was really more the 60s.
That was really terrible of you. Yes, they export John Travolta. And Olivia Newton-John.
One of their wonders is,
Yeah, exactly.
Their pinnacle of technology is an orbital disco ball that rains lasers.
Yeah. So what really got to us, so we're, he and I, we're pretty pacifistic in this campaign, even though Dido is supposed to be a pretty army-based country.
I can't believe I said the phrase orbital disco ball.
Yeah, right? So, Dido with Carthage is supposed to be a pretty military country, as far as I can tell, and a very faith-based country. Mitch wasn't using religion at all, whereas I tend to use religion a lot, mostly for the bonuses it conveys. So he wasn't using religion at all, and I was focusing on culture, so that way I could get late-game bonuses, and, again, just wonders and money. And, of course, happiness, so I could get my golden ages. So, to his northwest is Washington. And Washington, with America, is, of course, being expansionist. So, when I'm on my 5th city, Washington was on his 8th. And by the time I settled out on City 6, Washington had 13 cities. None of them were any good, understand, but 13 cities. So, we were doing the spy game at about this point. And, when we got to about 800 AD, We were really heavily investing in spies. I only had one spy at the time. Mitch had two because he was a technology ahead of me. So I learned that there was no one... We had eclipsed everybody in technology. We weren't very far ahead, but there was no one I could steal technology from. So I was just kind of doing my thing, and I was spying on Washington, mostly because Washington happened to be the one guy who I felt was actually going to be a problem. He was the... I think the reason why I was spying on Washington is he had the biggest army out of anybody, and I was in third place, so I wanted to watch Washington just in case. So Mitch was doing the same thing, and we kept on getting these messages from the game. Washington is plotting an attack against Bismarck. Washington is plotting an attack against Kamehameha. Washington is planning an attack against, England. The problem was these were like 5 turns apart. So the guy was completely freaking mental. He was just like bipolar, just constantly planning attacks against everybody else.
Except him. Oh no, I'll kill him too.
Yeah, well that's what it felt like. But it gets worse. Well, it gets better, really. So Mitch lets me know, hey, I just got a message saying Washington's is plotting against you. And he and I were laughing about it. We're like, oh, Washington, what a card. So then all of a sudden he goes, you might want to be aware that Washington has 5 catapults passing such and such a city on the way to you. The such and such a city was a city that was about 6 plots north of my northernmost city, which meant that Washington was on a beeline straight to me. So all of a sudden,
Shit got real.
So here was the problem for Washington. So the reason he was fighting against me was because I had only the 4th biggest military by that point. Which, in a game with 12 players, is not exactly bad, but I was not military focused at all. I usually never am. I'm generally a pretty passive player, unless I need to be. But I was playing as Persia, and Persia liked their golden ages. I was in a 50-turn golden age when base golden age...
Dang!
Yeah, when base golden age length was 12 turns. I had accomplished 2 wonders... I accomplished a wonder that gave me 2 artists, which each artist I spent to make a golden age instead of using their culture building. So I built 2 golden ages out of my 2 artists, and then I also completed, I believe it was the Taj Mahal, which gives you golden age. It all happened on the same turn. So I had a 50-turn golden age building, because also I had, I'm Persia, so my golden age lasts 50% longer. And I also had, I forget which, I think it's either Machu Picchu or, it comes out the same era as Machu Picchu. Gives you an additional 50% extra golden ages. So 50-turn golden age. What you also need to understand is that immediately after the events...
How many years is a turn?
It depends on how far into the game you are and on what game length you're playing. So at the very start, a turn may be 50 to 100 years, maybe even up to 500 years in some gameplays. As you reach the end of the game, a turn may be a month. So it depends on where you are. So... 50 turns at any point you're talking like 50 to 100 years, in some cases, if not way more. And of course, golden ages mean you get more money because you gain every tile that produces gold gives you 2 instead of 1, or produces 1 more, something like that. I forget the exact way it works. But I also have increased production. I have my citizens have to be happy to give me a golden age for the most part. So I have happiness. So I have population growth. And then because I'm Persia, I also get, I think it's +1 movement speed and +1 attack strength during Golden Age, or some effect like that.
Fair warning, Nye, I've got about 5 minutes left before I have to head out for my raid.
So we'll have to figure something out. I'll probably continue trying this in another episode, because this is freaking ridiculous, but I'll keep this one, because we talked about a lot of fun stuff. Mm-hmm. So,
you should
I'm in the middle...
mode it at 125% speed.
Wait, say what now?
Speed it up to 125% chipmunk mode.
Now, we've been talking about fun stuff, so that's not gonna happen. So anyways, so I'm in a golden age for 50 some odd turns. So what ended up happening, so I was just building, I was building a building at this point. So for people who know Civilization, so where my technology was at this point, I was building an item called Satrap's Court, which I believe either replaces the marketplace or the bank. I can't remember which one. But it's a gold-producing item, so it was doing what I wanted, but it also gives excess happiness, and happiness leads towards golden ages. Almost all 6 of my cities were building this at the time. So in one turn, so when Mitch told me there are 5 catapults on their way to you, hinting that there was a large force on the way, because a lot of catapults mean you have a large force anyways. When he told me this, all of my cities went from building Satrap's Court, whatever the hell they were building, to immediately towards building musketmen. And I built like 2 catapults at the same time as well. So my entire country goes from let's be happy to let's blow shit up. So Washington shows up on the outskirts of a city that had roughly, I think it was population 6 at the time. So it's a fairly small city. At the time, I think my capital was population 18 or something fairly high. So a very small city. I had no defenses at that city. The next turn, after Washington's turn, so literally immediately after Washington moves, I saw at least 5 units come out of Fog of War. 6 musketmen leave their home cities and arrive at that city, moving at fantastic speed, and I proceed to beat the shit out of Washington. Because of the unit mix I had between cavalry and I think I had just gotten cannons, or no, I had just gotten trebuchets. So because of my unit mix, I was able to destroy I think it was something to the tune of 8 units within 2 turns. Washington took down 1, and it's only because he sniped a straggler that I was trying to pull back to heal. Over the course of the next 10 turns, I proceeded to beat the shit out of Washington's army. He had basically no army by the time I was done with him. I took 2 cities off of him that I had no interest in. I didn't want his cities, because having his cities meant that my culture win would take longer. Because I was going for, I think, a cultural victory at that point. So I beat the shit out of him, took 2 cities and puppeted them because I wanted to punish him for it. And would have continued, because my military was fine. I wasn't losing anything. I hadn't lost a city, he hadn't even started a siege. It took me 1 turn to take any given city of his on his outskirts, and I probably could have done better. And he had a lot of luxuries I wanted. He had, like, gold and incense and stuff that I just had no access to. What was really funny is every 2 turns or so, I would have another deal with another civilization that was closing out that I would have to refresh, and generally it involved me selling some luxury I had extra to some other civilization for 300 or 400 gold each time. So I was just gaining gold hand over fist, and this gold was being used to pay off all of the 24 city-states in the game. All of them were allied to me. Except for, I think, 1 or 2 that Washington got 1, and I think my friend had the other one, and I just didn't want to take him. So this guy was fighting against me. The problem is, Washington wasn't only fighting against me. By the time Washington decided that he wanted to attack me, I had also built defensive pacts with roughly half of the game, not including my friend. So when Washington declared war against me, he declared war against me, 22 some odd city-states, and about 6 other civilizations. Keep in mind, of all of that...
I must go.
That's a shame. Of all of that, Washington wasn't able to actually get anything, and we beat the crap out of him. By the time Washington did his peace agreement with us, I ended up taking off... he gave me an extra city. He gave me all of the money he would gain per turn, so something like, I think it was 100 gold per turn for 40-some-odd turns, along with all of his luxuries for 40-some-odd turns. And
basically
some
a case of, oh god, I done fucked up, please just don't kill me.
Yeah. And the only reason I accept this peace agreement is because Greece was making threats in my direction, and I was worried that Greece, a bigger threat, was going to say something. So that would be just go into character with that, and that would be a damn good story. So yeah,
I crossed the River Delaware to kick your ass, but holy shit.
Holy shit, you have friends! You have... I underestimated you in your diplomacy, good sir. Good day. Hey, please, have all of my money.
Kick some ass. I leave here kissing it.
Exactly.
And with that, I'm off. Fare thee well, viewers. Fare thee well.
And in that hour-long time, we have absolutely failed to get anything done. We found one room of Mullabooms and didn't get anything out of it. Lovely. I'm gonna try this one last time, guys. And that'll be about it. I hope you don't mind much the hour of failure, and that our commentary has at least been enjoyable. If you want to see narrative Let's Plays, much like that Civilization one that we just finished, do let me know. I have absolutely no problem working that out and figuring out what to do. I'm sure my friend Mitch would not mind being another party to make it interesting. So let me know what's up. If you're curious about Mitch, he is Systemic Zero, who was, you may have seen him recently in when I'm playing Titanfall and I'm streaming that. You also might see him in the Castle Crashers Let's Play that I did some time ago. Okay, I promise this will be the last one. I want to get this character. This is taking so long to find the Mullaboom. And these aren't it! Damn it! These are other Mulla things. Mulla thing, the new form of Mullaboom. Kind of like the Freaka thing. New form of Freakazoid. Stuff like that. Ah, screw this. Okay, guys, I'm giving up. I'll see you guys next time.